What's up guys, it's Bossian here coming at you with another deck profile. Today we are looking at my very first Miracle Battle Carddass Dragon Ball deck profile. Let's jump into it. It's red. Let's start with one costs. We have basically three Videls. Videl is a one cost, comes down on level 1 at 1000 BP. Cannot attack. When it's destroyed, I draw a card. By the way, all the units, that little sign there, that means Earth Warrior or Z Warrior if you want to be very thematic. That little sign there, that one. All of the characters are, as such, Earth Warriors in the deck. So we got a little bit of a synergy going on there. So 3 Videl to draw some extra cards when she's put in the trash. Then we got 3 Chaozu. Can't attack, but he does come down on 2000. After that same level up with 2 Jean-Philippe, he goes to 3000, but he can actually level up until 4000. We have Chaozu here for a specific card that I'm going to show you guys later when we get to the actions. And I run 1 Super Saiyan Trunks. Same story, cannot attack, but it actually does level up to 3000 with just the 1 Jean-Philippe JP. I only got 1 of Super Saiyan Trunks because I only have 1 copy of this guy. Neat little card though. Just rounding up 7 1 costs. That seems to be a good spot for me. That's kind of where I think 7, maybe 8. Certainly some decks will definitely be supporting 8 1 costs. Then we got 2 Yamcha 2 costs. Yamcha's got DB tag with tension. Comes down at 2000 with 1 levels up to 3000, and obviously with the tag ability, you can when one of the 2 swings, you can tap the other one and add its current battle power, whatever level it's on, to the other one. So it can be pretty cool, but you gotta do it, I believe, in the attacker action timing, so it's not a big surprise. It's not like you can retroactively pump them. I don't necessarily like the DB tag thing, but it can be good because, when you got like 2 small warriors, you can, just tap any one of the 2 and make it a bigger one. But it's kind of like you lose both of those warriors for that turn attacking, but they can bring down a larger opponent, which is pretty cool. So Tension is our first kind of 3-drop, but he definitely serves the same purpose at a 2-drop slot because he gets the 1 red reduction. You get a card reduction if you for after each card that you have in your damage zone. You get also get a card reduction from each card you got in play. So that's your dramatic if you got one and all the characters you got in play. So these guys are kind of interchangeable. I'm currently just trialing running 2 of each. In my purple deck, I'm actually running 3 of both of the DB tech cards, but again, I'm not a big fan. It's just kind of like what I'm working with right now. So that's what we got here. Moving on, we have 3 copies of the 3-drop Krillin. This is from the Sparking pack that you guys may have seen me open in one of my previous videos. I like the Shadow Foil a lot. I think it's really cool. Some people like it, some people don't. It's very subjective. I don't really care. Krillin, when Krillin is destroyed, you can take a Goku character card back from your trash into your hand. What I like about Krillin is that it levels up to 4000 with just the 1 JP. And again, as all the other guys, an Earth Warrior. Then I got 1 copy of Super Saiyan Adult Son Gohan. I only have the 1 copy. I think I would perhaps run maybe another one if I had more. What's cool about him is that he can be fairly cheap with the 2 red reduction. And if he comes down sort of later game, when you can play him immediately with 3 JP from your JP stock, basically when he swings as he's level 2, you can destroy one of your opponent's characters of BP 4000 or less. So there's a bit of utility there, a bit of removal. Can't hurt. Then we got 3 Super Saiyan Future Trunks. Well, just basically in this particular card, just Trunks. Not necessarily played for the power levels. He does need 2 JP to go up to 5000, which is pretty cool though. You know, just with the 2 JP. But what we are mostly running him for is that when you play him, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can pick 1 Earth Warrior character card from those, and you trash the other 2. So this kind of allows us to dig a little bit deeper, get our sort of head, you know, main boss characters out from the deck. And so I really like this card. I think this card is really cool for the deck. Again, from the Sparking pack, still got that nice little shadow flow going on there. And then for the sort of the head characters, the main guys, I'm running 2 Piccolo. Arguably should be a 3. It's so good, so good. Can actually come down turn 3, and if he does, then you're doing something right. If he comes down turn 3, comes in as 4000, but immediately survives till the next turn, and you put your JP on him, he's gonna be 6000. And if he attacks, he just straight off the bat gets 4000 BP. So he's often gonna be swinging for like 13,000 with, if you got one of the dramatic salad I'm gonna get to in a minute. So he's a really solid, just a straight up beater. Cool card. Really liking this one. I have 2 Vegetas. This is from set 13, 12 or 13. Got a pretty good level up. 2 JP for level 2, 3 JP for level 3. And when you play him, you draw 2 cards from your deck and discard 1 card from your hand. So just getting us a bunch of, you know, additional dig in the deck. Actually, it's card neutral, but seeing more cards is really cool. And if he is on level 3 and attacks, he actually deals +1 damage, so 2 damage right off the bat. Really cool card. Definitely one of the ones you always want to see. I'd probably run 3 if I had 3 in the deck, to be quite honest with you guys, because it draws you, and it also allows you to close off the game a bit faster. And of course, any of you who plays this game, you will know that the longer the game lasts, the more things get out of control. So closing the game down fast is usually good. And then the top end of the deck, we got 2 Super Saiyan Gokus. This card's phenomenal. Whenever he attacks or defends, you can take an Earth Warrior from your trash and put it in your hand and put a JP onto Goku. So he levels up super fast, usually because by the time you play him, he's already going to be able to come into play with like probably 1, maybe 2 JP at least. And if you get him in play with 2 JP and then immediately swing, he's going to be swinging with 10,000. Plus, again, if you got your dramatics, any one of the 2 dramatic sides, going to be swinging for like 13,000 at least. That's fantastic. I think it's just like really cool. Again, it kind of pseudo card draw. You still, you know, kind of fuel things up in your hand, even only with characters, but that can be pretty good. And also the sort of like the inbuilt level up is just fantastic. So again, from the Sparking pack, really cool, kind of brings the deck together. Now, I've talked a lot about these dramatics, so I guess the next thing I should do is go and talk about those. We got 3 copies of Arise Shenron, and 2 copies of this, I don't know, Kid Goku's Attacking or something like that. Basically, for this particular deck, they are absolutely interchangeable. This one is definitely the better dramatic. If I had a third one, I would definitely run it. They both have miracle effects, so if you flip them for damage, they go straight into your hand. Fantastic stuff. You're likely to see them. This one gives all of our red characters plus 3000 BP when they attack. This one only gives our Earth Warriors plus 3000 BP when they attack. As I said, for this particular deck, interchangeable. As a general card, this is much better. You can also play it a lot earlier. Um, this is a 5 cost with 3 red reduction, so the best you're gonna play will be 2, but obviously to get to that reduction, and you're probably looking at probably turn 3 or onwards. Whereas this card you can obviously play just for the 1 cost, and it's much easier to get to 2 red cards being in play. So it could very easily be a turn 2 drop. It could also be a turn 3 drop, definitely a lot more likely than this one. So these are the 2 dramatics. Again, as I said, they're very much interchangeable, just looking for a lot of consistency currently with how I build my decks, just to kind of suss out what's the best sort of approach to for my play style to this game. And then we got 3 of these cards that I've recently discovered in my collection. I actually have a playset. It's quite unusual. Usually I got one-offs or none. And the fact that you are very likely to play this card for free is phenomenal, because the 1 cost with the 1 red reduction, you're probably going to play this for free. And you can play it either as the attack, as on attack or on block, so that makes it really cool too. It's predominantly a card that's made for attacking, but the fact that you got the flexibility to use it during the block as well, or perhaps, get rid of something, that's pretty cool. So one of your characters gets plus 3000 BP, and they also deal plus 1 damage until the end of the turn. And then when you play this card, it goes back on top of your deck, which I suppose is supposed to be the drawback of this card, but in a color where you tend to draw quite a lot, and even just knowing what, if you perhaps do take damage in your next turn, and knowing that this is going to be the damage, that can be sometimes advantageous. Or if you don't want to take the damage because you know you need this card to close out the game, then you perhaps want to make sure that you're gonna put more emphasis on blocking. But having a playset, really cool. I think this is actually a very, very solid card for red. Just with the flexibility and most likely a free play. Fantastic card. I love it. And then basically the main reason why we run the 3 Chaozu is because of Goodbye Tenshin. Uh, this is a miracle, so when you flip it for damage, you get the effect. Either normally it's used on attack or block, destroy one of your opponent's characters with a BP of 2000 or less, or you can sacrifice a Chaozu to increase that to a 10,000 or less. This is our primary removal in the deck. The reason why I run 2 of is because you're absolutely not guaranteed to have a Chaozu down, and that 2000 is not a lot. It's mediocre. Early game it could be better. Late game it's realistically just like, okay, you can get rid of a chump blocker, which could perhaps allow you to get in with like a 2 or a 3 damage attack Vegeta. And then we got 3 copies of Goku's, I guess it's Genki Dama. Basically what it does, normally you can only use it on attack, but again it's got the miracle effect, and both you and your opponent destroy one of their warriors with BP 5000 or less. Now this card becomes particularly good if all your characters are above 5000, 6000 or higher, because then it's only going to be your opponent that gets them the removal. It can also be kind of like, if your opponent managed to like completely clear your board, which does unfortunately happen. It's not like the most high-tech deck, but then again it becomes one-sided and it only affects your opponent. So not a huge fan, but again, looking at consistency and looking at just removal, I'm happy to go with this. If it's like I got a Videl down, I'm gonna sacrifice my Videl. At least I draw a card of it, and my opponent will. You obviously want to make sure that if you do play it from your hand, then your opponent has a couple of JPs on different characters, so they try and make their decision as hard as possible. And then the last playset in the deck, and again, this is probably the card that I'm most unhappy with right now, is I guess Z Warriors Gather. Um, you can play it in your main phase if as long as you have at least 3 Earth Warriors in play. When you play this card, you draw 3 cards. Otherwise, it does nothing, and it has the miracle effect as well. It's predominantly in the deck, so if we do take damage, hopefully we flip it. But unfortunately, I found that often it's just a dead card in my hand. So if I had perhaps more than one copy of my Kaioken, it's like a set 2 card, this one here, then I would definitely replace this for 3 of these. This only draws 2 cards, but it straight off the bat is only a 4 cost, and you have absolutely no requirements. You can just play it and draw 2 cards, um, which makes it, in my opinion, maybe uh, maybe the 2 card draw is not great, but you know having a card that can always be played versus having a playset of cards that are often stuck and dead in my hand, I'd definitely go with this. But for the time being, this definitely does the job, I suppose. And again, it's just got that nice little foiling that you get from the Sparking Pack cards. So this is my mono red Earth Warrior Z Warrior deck for Miracle Battle. I would say it's a pretty cool little starter deck if you want to get started in the game. You can pretty much throw the core of it together just by getting yourself 3 Sparking Packs. You're gonna get these until you get something to replace it, but you get this, which is a fairly decent removal. Of course, you get your Dramatic, you get the Goku, you get the Piccolo, you get the Trunks, you get the Krillin. So you do get a bunch of stuff, and you could literally just take 3 Sparking Packs, throw in another like 4 cards, and you got a 40 card deck. So that's pretty sweet on its own. You get like 1-2 drops as well. You get a Vegeta there for another 5 drops. So it does give you access to a starter deck, I suppose. Next time I'm going to be covering something different, perhaps my purple deck or something else. I kind of wanted to record this deck because I'm thinking about perhaps building a different red deck with a different approach. Just kind of like in this phase where I experiment with a lot of different cards, different colors, translating them, figuring out what they do. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, and I'm going to link it below, my buddy KX Jodil's Miracle Battle translation project. I have had the honor to also contribute with translating set 15, 16, and 17 and the Sparking Pack. He's done an amazing job with pulling all these cards translations together. They're not perfect, but they are a hell of a resource. And going back, this is the first proper translation project that I know of with Miracle Battle Carddass. So I'm gonna link KX Jodil's channels here at the beginning, at the end, sorry, and I'm also going to link the web page in the description below. So please make sure you guys check it out. Please make sure you guys support my good friend KX Jodil. And up until next time, peace.